Now that the upright assemblies have been correctly spaced, we can begin installing the uprights. When installing, ensure that the uprights are located in the upright assembly pockets. Alignment is key at this point to make sure that when you install the bottom crossbeams, they seat correctly in between both the upright and the upright assemblies. Once you've assured that the uprights are seated correctly in the upright assemblies, can you move on to installing the bottom crossbeam? Shown here is the correct alignment between the upright and the upright assembly. When installing the bottom crossbeam, make sure it is indeed the bottom crossbeam that you are using. This is denoted either with a sticker saying bottom, or it will be stamped with a B. Ensure when you install the crossbeam that you're engaging it into the keyway gently and evenly with little force, as forcing it will only have the reverse effect. When loading, it is important that all personnel are clear of the immediate area. The forklift operator must ensure that he is loading the pipe in the centre of the uprights. He will then gently lower the tubulars into the frame. Avoid excessive contact with the frames and the pipe at this point, as misalignment could occur. Check to ensure that the pipe is actually correctly seated in the crossbeam. The middle crossbeams can now be fitted. These are simply slotted in gently and evenly once again. Care must be taken at this point to ensure that the shoulder of the crossbeam is not butting up against the upright as shown here. The crossbeams must be seated inside the uprights. When all personnel are clear from the area, the forklift can continue to load the hinge lock frames. At this point, it's not so critical if contact is made between the uprights, as there is sufficient weight already loaded to prevent any movement within the frames itself. The top crossbeam can now be installed, ensuring that the keyways line up and slot in again slowly and evenly. The tie rod is then pushed forward through the upright to ensure that the Hinge nut seats correctly within the recess of the top crossbeam. To allow the crossbeam to seat correctly, it is important that the nuts are tightened evenly, as demonstrated here. Repeat the process until all Hinge nuts are tight. Make sure the torque wrench is certified and set at the correct torque, which is 150 Newton meters. Tighten the nut until an audible click is heard from the torque wrench. This will denote that you have reached the optimum torque. The process is then repeated for all of the Hinge nuts. If the system is being stacked offshore, then these retaining pins will need to be fitted. Simply screw them into the location and tighten them fully. Once the torquing has been complete, slings can now be fitted. Make sure that the shackles are fitted correctly, with the split pin being on the inside of the upright. When the frame has been moved initially, a final torque check is recommended. An adapter has been supplied to allow this action to be undertaken when the slings are still in position.